Welcome to the Surviving-ish podcast, where we're going to discuss life's tiny tears and the occasional big-time mental health breakdown. Johnna, my friend. Thank you for joining me today. We've spent some time off air talking, and we've got some really cool things coming in the future.
Yes.
And I'm
super excited because I'm always surviving-ish.
I mean, I always say, I feel like I'm held together with duct tape and a prayer at a time.
That part.
Yeah. But you know what? We have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of things coming up in the future that I'm really excited about. One of the things is, as you all may see behind me, is I think the past 3 or 5 episodes, or however many we've recorded at this point that has been released, my background keeps changing because parts of my house is under construction. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. We created now the Ish podcast in the middle of the construction and the chaos. And today I thought John and I were going to be able to record, and I was going to have the new addition to my background.
Yeah.
And I have it, but I don't have all the things I need to put it up because I didn't want to go to Walmart today. I wasn't feeling it, couldn't do it. I know my limits, and with the things I'm surviving, that one was over the edge. So before we get started, I want to show, just because I want it to be a part of this episode, I wanted to get a neon sign for my background, and it came in, and I love it.
I love it too. It's so cute.
Ish. And next time we're all together, it'll be hung up perfectly. Yeah, I almost, Johnna, got a little down on myself because I was like, this means a lot to me. I've wanted to do it. I've been waiting for it. I've been checking Amazon every day. You and I were on the phone, and I pace in the driveway, up and down the driveway when I'm talking on the phone. And we had just got done talking about people showing up unexpectedly. Then this car pulls into my drive. I was like,
yes.
But they came with presents. So, and this one I liked because I bought it myself.
Those are the best kind.
Yeah. And I told myself, you know what? You can find a way to at least make it visible and then make it perfect later when you have the energy and the umph to go to the Walmart. And I didn't. And then as soon as it was time for you and I to get on, and I saw my screen and saw the background, I was like, I'm so disappointed in myself. But you know what? In today's America, I'm allowing myself some grace with this.
Amen. That part. That part. That's all. Yeah.
So, Johnna.
Yes,
what are you surviving-ish right now?
I thought about a lot of things I was surviving-ish, because why does it always feel like there's so many of those things? But today we're going to talk about, I need a new Stanley, like a new water bottle, and they're not cheap. Let me tell you why. I love stickers because I love books, in case you can't tell. I'm a book girly, and I have all these stickers from different book series. And I took my water bottle into church. And can we talk about how I had to hold it like this? Because what does that say? Fire breathing bitch queen and fairy smut. You can't be having your fairy smut stickers all up in the service. It's a chill church. It's a relaxed church. But now I have to spend $40+ on a new Stanley because I went ham with stickers, and I now can't take it into church because.
So you're going to have to do like my grandmother does. She has her wigs that she wears, but she
got church wigs.
But she has her Sunday wig, and that's the one.
Yep.
And she lets us know that's when she has to be buried in, because people from her church cannot stand over her and think Shirley's been wearing a wig this whole time, because no one knows. The person that makes Dolly Parton's wigs is the same person that makes my grandmother's wigs.
Oh my God, I love that.
She's not long and blonde, like Dolly. It's definitely not the same style. But so, I mean, they're really good, top of the line.
Yeah.
Wigs. And in my grandmother's closet, there's like one of those like little secret rooms you can go to behind the closet. Mm-hmm. It's wigs, and they're all labeled. It is like a drag queen's dream come true in that closet.
Yes.
You're gonna have to do like grandmother, and you're gonna have a Sunday Stanley.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so the second part of that is because I'm a sticker problem. I am a sticker problem. I have more that I kind of really want to put. This is my pile that I want to put places that I just don't have room for. So it'll probably end up with stickers on it too. And I'll just have to
That's
really
okay.
pay
Just
attention.
make it Sunday appropriate stickers.
I'm not Sunday appropriate. Therein lies the problem.
But okay, you know what? You want to know where I think the real problem lies?
Tell me.
Is the fact that we have to condense and water down ourselves to go to church to worship the person who has allegedly seen all my sins and have already done all of my sins.
Yeah.
That's why, he died and rose for the sins and all these things. Like, it's like this story that I've heard, I'm sure we all have, but it really sticks out to me of the rich man is in church and the
Hmm.
poor homeless man comes in. The poor homeless man has a quarter, the rich man has $100.
Yep.
Poor man only has one quarter to his name, and that's why he gives to the church. The rich man had millions of dollars in his name, and he gave
Yeah.
$100 to the church. Who gave
Who
more?
gave more? The homeless man.
Right.
Yeah. Because he gave everything.
But who was judged the most?
The homeless man.
Yeah.
Because he didn't look right. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest, you've just inspired me. I'm gonna keep taking my smut, Stanley,
I'm not mad at it. And I was,
because I am exactly who I am. And you know that all the other women in that church be reading probably stuff even smuttier than the shit I read, because actually I'm into fantasy, like epic fantasy. Like we're talking Tolkien and that kind of stuff more than the I skip over a lot of the smut parts because there's only so many times you can hear about him touching her bundle of nerves. Like, stop with that. I thank you. It gives me the ick, and the repetition gives me the ick. So I know those women be reading more smutty stuff than I do,
I was gonna say,
and
it's a little smut-ish.
it is ish. So you know what? You helped me through my ish today. Thank you. Ooh, and maybe I'll just put the shameless plug for the book series I'm reading, Time to Pay the Daddy Tax. Maybe I'll just put that right up in the middle of it.
My first thought was, why are you having to water yourself down?
Yeah, and I don't in any other way.
Yeah. If I have to water
Like,
myself down, then I mean, if you can't handle me at 100 proof, then
yeah.
then that's you. And
And you know, you're right, because I
I
don't for anything else,
yeah,
anywhere else I go.
yeah,
And I don't water myself down in any other way, even being in church. I am who I am. Like, I don't cover my tattoos, I don't take out piercings, I don't stop saying words that I say. They just fall out. It is who I is. Didn't mean to say it that way, but it's part of who I am. So there we are.
yeah.
So I'm gonna keep taking my Stanley.
I do remember this one time in church that even when I was on the podcast, Jenny's podcast on Holier, I
Mhm.
was talking about how one of the things I remember in church is when I first grew up, it was Methodist, and it was nothing but a fashion show. Like,
Yep.
I remember going, and we would go shopping once a week or once a month, and we bought a new Sunday outfit.
Yep.
You didn't repeat outfits,
Yeah.
and I remember,
Southern church life.
uh-huh, and I mean, and I'm sorry, but who can afford that?
No one. That's why you didn't have any other like appropriate school clothes,
Yeah, yeah, that's why I didn't get to play outside because all I had was church clothes. But
right?
and even though, like, luckily for men, for boys, I was able to wear a button up in jeans or a polo in jeans,
Yep.
or khakis. But for a girl, it would be completely different. But I remember this one time there was this whole conversation, and it's kind of what steered us away from this particular church is these two girls came in and they had some family members that went to that church, and their dress might have been a little too tight. They were very voluptuous, very blessed in the top part, and maybe they showed some cleavage, but
Yeah.
they were there.
Right. And I think that's where we missed the memo. The church isn't for those who are saved. Yes, we're supposed to assemble and whatever, but it's supposed to be an outreach,
And
not a club.
if that is all that they had, at least they're there. Where the church should have gotten together is got with the family and said, is this the only, because I think they'd been there a couple of times, it was always the same dress that they were wearing. So obviously, maybe they only have the one dress. One of them maybe looked like it was a hand-me-down, so it didn't fit right.
What if we just didn't worry about it
What if we didn't worry
and
about it?
loved them?
What if we pulled together as a community and said, okay, they're here, they're a part of our
Yeah,
family now.
yeah,
Let's WWJD and let's see what this family needs.
yeah. I'm gonna take it to the next step though too, because WWJD, right? Love them because they're there. Who gives a flying crap what they have on? Like,
Because
who
the people
does?
that are dressed the best, that
Don't open their closet because that's full of a whole bunch of skeletons, not just church clothes. They hide them in their church clothes.
I was going to say they're in church judging. They have their head bowed, praying with one eye open, looking at the people that they're judging.
Oh, those are the people who go, um, Sister so and so, we just need to pray for her as an intro to gossip.
Uh,
Ooh, that this is why I didn't go to church for years.
yeah,
And we finally found a community that's very, it's chill and it's cool and I love it and it's not judgy at all.
yeah,
So I've seen plenty of people there in like short shorts.
yeah.
No one cares
Who cares?
because it has nothing to do with that.
And even if they were sex workers, like some of the people were trying to
Well,
insinuate,
amen, glory, hallelujah. Let's have them there in the church.
listen. And what I've got to say about sex workers is it's consensual because there are people in power that we know that, and people and of all sorts of power that we know
Hmm.
that has unconsensual charges and things against them, and somehow that's okay. I'm sorry
Yep.
if you're a sex worker and it's too consensual, or I don't care how many people it is. If they are adults, and everyone's consensual. Have at it.
Yeah. Well, Jesus hung out with the prostitutes.
And
Hello.
I was going to say because Jesus will be meeting them later for brunch.
That part. I judgy. I hate the judgy shit. Like it just, ew.
Yeah, I may edit this out, but I think the reason this religion topic is weighing so heavy on me, by the time this episode comes out, this will be late news. But at
Right.
the time of the recording, we are recording September 12th. So 48 hours ago, Charlie Kirk was shot and confirmed to be dead. Right before logging into this recording, they have allegedly found the person. Um, I have found zero things that I agree with Charlie Kirk on. But I vote for Charlie Kirk to have the right, and for me to have the right,
Yep.
for you to have the right to have your opinion. How we need to take it out on each other is the voting box. If I don't like
Yeah.
your thoughts and your opinions and your beliefs, how we fight it out is going and voting.
Yeah.
But I'm always going to vote for you to not like me if you don't like me.
100%.
I'm not going to vote for you to shut me up.
Yeah.
And so I, with that being said, and I wish I would have started with this line first. No one deserves what happened to
Yeah.
him. I can I can't say that I hate him. I never even loved him. I don't like him. I have no respect for him. I'm very
Sure.
indifferent when it comes to him. He does not deserve that.
Nope.
No
He
one.
wasn't doing physical harm to anyone. And if you want to go on the, well, he was radicalizing people. My husband and I were just having this conversation earlier. And do you remember in the late 80s, early 90s? Probably not, but I do. Where I know where there were several teenagers who unalived themselves and Metallica's Fade to Black was playing. And so they were like, Metallica's making people kill people. No, Metallica put out a song. The message that was received by those kids and what they did with it was a choice. And we all have free will and the ability to make our own decisions. I don't have to read or hear anything and make it my personal mantra and make it a bigger thing. I man, I have so many opinions about this, and we've talked quite a bit about it already today. And for me, being an activist in the TTI space, it makes me concerned that someone I care about, or even myself, is going to be silenced for sharing our point of view,
Yeah.
our politics. It's that person was still a person at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm not an influencer. I don't have a big following, at least at the time of this episode. But
Coming soon, maybe
I'm
speak it out
always
there.
right. I'm always hoping to change it, but in a positive way, right? But my personal Facebook page is political. I believe what I believe.
Mhm.
I I fight for it. I have to be loud. I have certain privileges because I am a white man in the South. I have a little bit of money in the bank. My family has a little bit of money in the bank. I have a little bit of an
Mhm.
education. I have a good job. I have some privileges, and I recognize that. But I also have the the gay side of me
Yeah.
that is marginalized, and I've already been a victim of an attempted murder and brutal rape, and I'm very political and I'm very loud because it's very dangerous right now for a lot of people. And I made a post about Charlie Kirk's passing, and I wanted to not be hypocritical. I wanted to be very
Yep.
rude that I do not like or respect this man. However, what happened should not have happened. I will never, ever agree with that.
Yeah, condoning violence is totally different.
And even
That's
as small as my friends list is,
Mhm.
and with who knows or would even give a damn about little old me, I've gotten two death
Right.
threats.
Yeah.
I opened up Facebook Messenger with two death threats today.
My God. I don't.
So imagine the people on those higher platforms.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's in a way, okay, so take opinions out of it, how you felt about his message. This man was living the American dream. He had a passion and he built a way to monetize his passion into a business. Is that not what we all want? He was building a life for his family. He was financially stable and he loved what he did.
Sure.
Like it, love it,
It's
disagree,
okay
agree,
that I hate
whatever.
all. It's
Yeah,
okay that I hate all of what he stood for. It's okay that I could see him and immediately want to cringe because I knew that
yeah,
someone that either myself or someone that I loved was going to use their platform, and something was going to be or he was going to use his platform to speak
yes.
against someone that I love, whether it's a woman, a child, trans,
Yeah,
gay, black, Hispanic, you
yeah.
know, and there's this whole thing going on right now, and I just
I had a friend who said it really well in a post that I made that while she didn't agree with anything that came out of his mouth, and while she didn't agree that anyone should be silenced for using their voice or celebrate that, she understands that there are people who feel relief because they'll no longer be marginalized by the message. That's okay. That is absolutely okay. If someone who was a political person who supported the TTI, let's say, and something like this happened to them, I still wouldn't celebrate their death. I would be like, there's one less voice, but man, it shouldn't have happened like that. And I think one of the most impactful things that I've seen is his arch nemesis in the space, right? Was live streaming.
seen Weathers
Yes, you saw it too. His reaction was so raw and visceral. He was literally in tears.
sobbing.
That's a human reaction. That's how we should be. Not good, he shut up now, or he got what he deserved.
And
Oh my God.
what I and I cannot speak for anyone everyone else. But after you and I had a conversation about this on the phone, I was really thinking about it because I was like, there is a part of me that does feel relief. And do I feel guilty for that? Should I feel guilty for that? I mean, that's an internal battle. And
Sure.
what I realized, and mind you, I'm very blue and a very red.
I'm purple. I'm purple AF
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
in a state that's even a little redder than yours.
and so I mean, I definitely stand out in a lot of different ways. And what my wish is for Charlie Kirk, for anyone like Charlie Kirk, is not to be silenced, especially in that kind of way. What I want them to see is that I'm human and that I deserve to be alive, that I
To
deserve
be enlightened.
rights as they have. I want them to use their platform and say, you know what? David's trying to decide if he's atheist or not. Fine. Like, David's a gay man, wants to marry a man. Fine. It's none of my business.
Yep.
And I wish him well.
Yeah.
I want people to express their beliefs, but it doesn't have to be out of hate.
Hmm.
I can wish you well and leave you alone just fine.
Yeah.
And so what I
It's the human equivalent of keep scrolling. I mean, I've been stunned to silence by so much of this because I've seen friends on both sides in social media show their ass, like just truly say some ugly things, both for and against him. And it has hurt me on a deep level. And it's not embarrassing to be friends with them. I still love them. It's another, I don't agree with their message right now. It's hard to be silent right now, though. And I read you actually the response that I made in a post that, what if it was me speaking out for TTI rights? I have friends, great example, you, that get death threats for sharing their voice. What if my husband and daughter were there and saw me fighting for something that I believe in be silenced in that manner? What if it was the people out there, self included, fighting for women's reproductive rights? What if it was someone in the LGBT community that I adore fighting to keep the dang rights that they scratched out so far? What if it was one of those people? And he, a lot of things he said were very sensationalized intentionally. He intentionally was inflammatory.
he knew how to make great clickbait content,
Boy,
and
did he.
yeah, and that's the media world we live in right now. We have to do that for people to be like, oh, let me see what's up with this.
Hmm. Maybe if we got better at that, we'd have more followers. But
Working on
okay,
it.
okay, okay. But that's the thing at the end of the day is the beauty of where we live and what our country was founded on. It's literally the first one is that we have the freedom to share our thoughts and our beliefs. That's it.
And
That's the
again,
first one.
as of September 12th, 3:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do have those rights. But I feel like we live in a place, in a world, in a country right now where we don't know from 1 minute to the next how long those rights will be there for several people. Now, what I do want to say to maybe shift this a little bit is he was a father, he was a
Yeah.
son, he he was a husband. There was some examples that he had used about his wife and kids that I didn't necessarily agree with. None of my business. She is married to him and she is making that decision. However, they raise their kids, not my decision. And I'm trying, I would like to think that I'm not judging it, other than the fact that I know that I don't like it, but it's none of my business. And so I move
Yeah.
on. Right. What I also want to say is two things. What I'm trying to allow grace for with the way that people are responding to this, it's triggering for people. People react in different ways. And when someone is in the public eye, we sometimes feel like we know them. Charlie might be the cousin that I can't stand that freaking shows up at the family reunion and the Christmas, and I'm like, oh God, like why do I turn around? You're always at the drink station, and I just
Mhm.
want a soda, you know? He might be that cousin that I'm like I hate. I'm dreading this. I'm surviving ish this.
Right.
Um,
Family reunions.
but there's still, I would. He has been inside my home, maybe just through audio, maybe
Yep.
through YouTube or whatever. But I've listened to him because I do try to make myself aware of what's going on both sides, like you
Sure.
have talked about. And so I would listen to him. I wanted to understand how some people in my life had a certain train of thought because I wanted to be able to have
Mhm.
a conversation with them that they would maybe be able to understand. And I'm not saying that I'm smarter than them. I'm just saying like because of their beliefs versus my beliefs, there's a divide, right?
Yes, because
So
if
how
you're
can
not informed, how can you have the discussion on
right,
both sides?
right. So there's a part like I've hardly slept last night thinking about Charlie. This is a man that I have no care for, other than the fact that I care how he dies and how he should not have died the other day. The last thing that I want to mention, well, I'm scattered all over the place just because I'm a little emotional with this, but I'm trying to allow grace because of the way that people react to trauma. What I am uh, upset with social media is you're scrolling through and I saw the actual gunshot before I
Same.
even knew what I was about to see.
Yep.
That's very triggering. It was triggering to me. It's triggering to a lot of people. That could be someone's trauma, just seeing that, you know? So I'm trying to allow some grace with that and giving a little bit
Imagine if you're a family member and the news hadn't broken yet, and that's how you find
one
out.
one 100%, 100%. So to kind of piggyback off of that part a little bit, that's my number one. Other than, of course, his wife, kids, all that. That's my number one concern. But trickling down from that, the thing that I just mentioned was one of the two other things I wanted to mention. This one is there's a lot of college students that witnessed this, that
Yeah.
heard the gunshot, that saw the blood, that was there, whether they like him and follow him, or if they were there to
To
throw
debate
the
it.
finger. One of the influencers that I follow that is very good, along with Dean, is Parker. And Parker was there. He was about 40 feet away. Like he saw it. And these are college, they're kids. And I don't
Right.
care how old you are, like seeing something like that. But I want to be mindful of that. And I know that with our viewers, I think that we're all kind of on the same morals and belief values. I'm sure they differ here and there a little bit, but enough to where we all feel safe with each other. And I'm sure we all have the same thought. But I hope the city, the state of Utah is planning on having something set up for these
Yeah.
people that witnessed it in person.
Yeah. It's, I don't remember if I said this to you. I know I've said it to several others talking over the last 48 hours. One of my first thoughts before even thinking about someone being silenced for sharing their voice or any of that, my first reaction was those kids immediately, you could hear gun, run. That was, they didn't know what was next.
There's a Facebook post that I see every year on the 11th and 12th of September,
Yep.
and it says we need to live every day like it's September 12th because there was no divide.
That was one of the first things I saw this morning. And my best friend said one of the most profound things yesterday when we were talking about this. She said, it's amazing to look at the divide today on the anniversary of the time I've seen us come together the most as a nation. And it is a stark contrast. And September 11th was horrific. Like, I it's our generation's where were you when JFK was shot? Like that's what it is. And I remember every bit of it,
Same.
every single bit of it. And I remember the aftermath. And I remember one of my regulars who was Indian, not even like Iraqi or Kuwaiti or any of, he was from India, worried about his kids at school because they were getting hate for the color of their skin. And yet, for the most part, it was the most together and supportive, caring, kind that I've seen us be to each other in my adult life. And like unraveling, unpeeling the onion, I think, how the hell did we get where we're at? And when we started treating politicians like celebrities and started following them like they were football teams and having these big rivalries and taking everything they said as gospel truth, that was a big part of the beginning of this. We're supposed to be voting for an idea, not a person.
Politics needs to be boring. It needs to be boring.
And do
But
I miss, boy, do I miss that. I miss the most exciting thing being the blue dress. Like Monica Lewinsky's blue dress. Like, can we go back to the blue dress and making jokes about the governor's mansion in Arkansas burnt down to the wheels? Like, it's when it was light and funny, and now it's so ugly and hurtful, and jokes aren't funny anymore. They are like,
dangerous.
ooh,
It's
eek.
hate driven
Yeah.
and it's dangerous.
Boy, this was a far cry from the topic that we were supposed to be on, and yet I think this became our topic.
To that's exactly what I was thinking. To the listener, I think I had said that my goal is to have this fun and lighthearted. I think as a realist, we have to accept the fact that there's going to be times and subjects that need to be discussed. One of the things I've always said is I want to always be true and authentic, and I found myself almost having to fake, um, or afraid I was going to have to fake parts of the conversations that we would be having
Yeah.
because of where my mind is.
Yep.
Um, so I think that I'm going to skip my ish today. I kind of had mine with the light, but I think that I'm going to skip the rapid fire question today. I think that we had a conversation that you messaged at 9 o'clock my time this morning and was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, does anyone want to talk?" And we talked for
Yeah. I was checking in because I knew how I was.
yeah,
And that made me go, how are my people? No
absolutely.
matter which side you're on, no matter who you vote for, how are my people? How are we doing mental health wise? And guys, this is when you check in on your friends. This is when we come together, despite our differences, embrace our differences. How boring would it be if we were all carbon copies of each other? We would run out of things to talk about. It'd be really, really terrible. And my husband and I don't perfectly align politically. And there's one other piece I do want to say talking about this because it's a big piece of encouragement for everyone. Don't just read the headline. Research for yourself because there's been so much. And again, I didn't agree with a lot of his message. When you take one sentence out of context, it can be the rally cry for just about anything. You could take a sentence out of context for what we've said here today and make it sound like we were in total support of either him as a human or him being gone. Any soundbite can be taken out. Read the before and after. I said this to you this morning because this is always my go-to. There's literally a Bible verse that says, Judas hung himself, go do likewise. How does that sound on its own? Not really hopeful. You've got to read what's before and after it. It's not a command to go find a tree and a rope. It is part of a bigger picture. And I encourage you to, like David was saying, follow both sides. when I'm researching, I try to read something from the left, like when it's political, from the left, from the right, and the middle if I can find it. Harder and harder to do. Can't find it? I'll read two things from each side. Gives you a better rounded view. But research for yourself. Don't just repeat that headline and take a screenshot and share without knowing, because you're part of the problem, not part of the solution when we do that.
You know what I recommend? And guys, this is not an ad. I would love for them to be one. There's a political podcast that I listen to, and they've mentioned it, and so I've checked it out. It's called Ground News. Have you heard of it?
Hmm.
Okay. So I love that it's female found, and,
Hmm.
and they tell you what's in the headlines from
Yeah,
the red side and in the headlines from the blue side. And then there's another article of what they found to actually be factual. But that way you can see where the red is getting their information, where the blue is getting theirs, and what is helping that divide, but where that common ground
yeah.
is.
Uh,
I do that. Like I told you this morning, I said that I listen and follow people that I completely disagree with.
yep,
To the point that, like, if you looked at my phone, you would think I was Charlie Kirk's number one fan and in bed crying right now,
right.
because I do want, I'm not going to make an opinion, and I'm not going to make an opinion and be completely verbal with it. Of course, I want to make mistakes, and of course, my opinion can change as I learn
Sure.
things.
I've had to withdraw statements before.
Absolutely. But I think that's growth and the
Yep,
accountability of saying, okay, I did misspeak here or my
yep,
mind has changed here.
yes.
And I may potentially edit this part out too, but this has really been weighing heavy on us. And
Mhm.
because we love people from both sides, I think it's going to be people like us that help prevent a huge divide. There might be some cracks, but I think the people like us, the people like the listener, we're the ones that are going to keep there being a big divide. And I'm not opposed to, even if it's bonus episodes, us popping on every couple of days as this is going on. Now, of course, this won't be released until after, but sometimes I think that's almost safer to do. We have
And it doesn't matter because it doesn't make it less valid.
100.
Because unfortunately, in our current political society, this is gonna happen again. It's
There's a
it's gonna
podcast
happen
that I
again.
listen to that's political, and they record multiple times a day, and they are blue and do not like Charlie Kirk. They've mentioned that. And so, of course, they jumped on immediately and was like, we do not condone this.
Right.
But they were in tears. They were like, we were afraid to come into the studio today because they may not have the following that they have, but they just celebrated where they reached their million followers.
Yeah.
And to see that they're celebrating the fact they just, they've achieved this milestone accomplishment for the platform that they're building, and someone was just publicly executed, murdered, um, for doing exactly what they're doing, even though they're on different sides.
And
And
that's the part. You can't silence one without silencing the other. You cannot be in favor of someone's voice being shut down because you don't agree. That's been my point since this news broke, and honestly, on so many other dang topics. It's the beauty of free will and the ability to share our voice and our opinions.
if you're interested, I would totally be, even if it was 15 minutes episodes, if we just jumped on and it went when there's some kind of news or update, or if it's just something that's bothering us where we need to be together as a community,
Yeah.
and talk. However we need to do it, because
Yeah.
like you said, like I said, things will have definitely been, time will have passed. I won't say
Yeah.
things will not be resolved as soon as this podcast is over. This is something that
Yeah.
will always be a wound. I mean, this is an attack on political, like this is a political attack.
Mhm.
This is not going away anytime soon. We can figure out how we want to release and how we want to do it.
True.
But I think this could be a good place for us to vent, express concern, come up with ideas, and So I think that I hope this didn't bring people down too much because I know that that's not our main goal. So maybe we can end on something uplifting. So, John, let me ask you.
I'm like, oh no.
So, I always try to do something fun, like a fun rapid fire question, but
I know.
something
Okay.
out of maybe some positivity, but not toxic positivity. What, as of today, as of this recording, like, what's your wish for people?
That's such a big thing right now. It's going to be multiple fold because it's not, I wish for world peace. It's illogical, right? This is not a beauty contest. We're not up there.
Well, that falls into that toxic positivity, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's in here.
Um, I wish that each of us have a safe space in our circle, that we know that we have people that love us for who we are and that we can trust. And as a society, I wish that we would learn how to open our ears and not overtalk each other when we're sharing points of view and actually listen. You never know when someone has a piece of a puzzle that you don't, or a perspective that you don't. And that's how we learn. So I wish we would listen more, be open, have safe spaces. And yeah, that's all I want in life, honestly. I, that's it. What about you?
I 100% agree. And the same thing, I want there to, I feel that we're seeing a change. I think it's making some parts of both sides get deeper into the aggression and in the anger. But I'm also seeing things that are starting that we're finding a common ground on agreeing on when it comes to Epstein files. More than us on both sides are saying, release the damn files.
Like, what is the holdup at this juncture? Come on.
We know what it is. And
Okay, okay. Yeah, I hear you, but I mean, it was rhetorical, David.
right. And even with this Charlie Kirk thing, I believe that there are more people on both sides saying that this is not deserved and somewhere something has to be changed,
Yep.
whether you loved him or whether you were indifferent with him.
Mhm.
So I hate that it's taken these big tragedies to unite us. But
Mhm.
imagine if we truly did live every day like September 12th. Who all would still be alive today, or what would be different, you know? And so that's my wish, and I want to bring back up just to end on something a little fun. Bring back up my little light here,
You're
and
full of ish today.
yeah, as a reminder, would we say surviving ish? It's the petty little grievances.
Yeah.
It's the gum on the shoe kind of thing. But that's not minimizing the things that we have fucking survived and freaking thrived on, you know?
Yep.
And Johnna, I love you. Thank you for spending today with me.
Add to David. I absolutely love you too.
Yeah, you've become such a great friend of mine,
Same.
and I'm sending all the love and support to anyone affected by the brutal, horrific, horrendous, unjustified murder of Charlie Kirk. And guys, I may release this episode with another one because this one was deep and heavy. So if I release another one, go ahead and listen to it because it'll be very light and very fun.
Right.
But at the same time, I think that we have to be real and that this was needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, remember that there's always someone there. The National Suicide Prevention Line, where you can talk to someone at any point, is 988. There's always someone there. Even if you're not in that place, but it's dark and it feels like you're at the bottom of the hole and there's no light at the top. call. There's always someone there to help.
All right, guys. Well, until next
Yeah.
week.
Woo! All right.